Texas represents leadership, hope, patriotism, and pride. It's a place where people of all cultures and creeds live, work, and raise their families together. It's a place full of opportunity. Unfortunately, under Republican control, Texas is going backward. That trend is coming to an end. It's time for a new vision in Texas. I am running for Texas Controller because I want to be part of the new generations of leaders who will bring Texas back to the 21st century and position it for a strong future. I am committed to a transparent tax administration and to establishing a vibrant economy with thriving jobs, so you can provide for your family and maintain a healthy life balance. You deserve an inclusive Texas, a Texas that embraces diversity, where no matter where you were born, the color of your skin, or the language you speak, you are welcome. You deserve a Texas that treats women equally in all areas, including equal pay and the right to make their own medical decisions. You deserve a Texas that recognizes that love is love. A Texas where all faiths, traditions are welcome, and where church and state are truly separating governmental decisions. A Texas that welcomes new business ventures and give employees the right to organize and unionize. A Texas that respects and embraces data and science, where government leaders do their elected jobs of working for the best interests of all Texans, not special interest groups. A Texas that guarantees easy access to voting for all citizens. You deserve a Texas that repeals race suppression, where no matter your zip code, you will have access to health care, clean water, electricity, high-speed internet, and excellent education, and the resources to support your family. You deserve a Texas where you feel safe in our cities and towns, as well as in your own home. That Texas is possible with new leadership. I am running for office because it's time to bring this new vision to life. It's time to bring Texas back to the people.
That's what we're looking at right now. All right, back again, Commish Radio Show, back again. We are starting on time this time because we're always on time. The best radio show podcast from Como to the Congo. And if you're in Fort Worth, you know where Como's at. And if you are in the world, which clearly you are, fbrn.us, you should be knowing where the Commish Radio Show's at. Sending a special shout out to the people in Dallas. Just left. That's the reason I want to apologize for the lateness of the hour. You've been listening on the fbrn.us website. You've been listening to the great music that we have with local artists that, Facebook doesn't want you to hear. That's the reason why we tell you to go ahead and subscribe to the podcast. So what we're here today to talk about politics, like you didn't know. Politics, like you didn't know. You know I'm always going to be talking about that. I want to go ahead and spend a couple of minutes of time, just a couple, that means two, less than two, but let's make it one for each. I want to go ahead and give a salute to my offensive lineman. He's here today. He's right here today. He's off camera. This is his last day. He's right there, and we got Cool Hand Luke, he's the backup to the backup to the backup. But, that's how we got Dak Prescott, backup to the backup to the backup. But we got him. He's quarterback in the day. So, Cool Hand Luke, thank you very much, brother. Appreciate your time. But, what I don't appreciate, and you probably already know, justice is in the house. We have Judge Sandra Jackson. We're going to be talking about other Jacksons as well. We're not talking about Andrew Jackson. We're talking about Ketanji Brown Jackson, KBJ, Supreme Court nominee. Judge Jackson, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much, Commish. Thank you for having me here, and good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Let's go ahead and start with the reason why you're here. We are here to talk about, we're here to talk about the nominations process that brought KBJ. We got. She has initials now.
Yeah,
you know,
KBJ. I saw that on some social media outlet. I always think about Ruth Bader Ginsburg because she was known as the notorious RBG. So it's great for KBJ to be a part of that process. It's been a wonderful week. I've been looking every day. I can give you how I got involved with the project. There's a project that's nationwide called Pass Her the Gavel. Pass Her the Gavel. And I got an outreach through the University of North Texas, Dallas College of Law, Professor Downs, Angela Downs, and Associate Dean Cheryl Watley, along with the team of young black law students there at the law school, reached out to me through my sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, Alpha Xi Omega chapter, and I am the co-chair of the Social Action and Justice Committee of Alpha Xi Omega.
Okay.
And they asked us, can we help these law students be a part of this project, national project, as we had said. And of course, we said we would. We lined up, we got on board. We had a few Zoom meetings. A couple of the law students got a chance to go up to Washington at the invitation of our very dear Soror Congresswoman, Eddie Bernice Johnson. They were there on site during the nomination hearings process. And of course, we were able to watch it daily in between trials, hearings, and all of the work that we do at the 302nd Family District Court, of which I happen to be the district court judge. In between all of those things, we were able to tune in every now and then to C-SPAN to watch the nomination process.
Okay. What did you think of the nomination process?
Well, the process itself is supposed to be generic. And I think arguably, particularly since after Justice Breyer announced that he was going to retire, I think that President Biden did what he had promised the people, particularly going all the way back to Alabama, going to South Carolina with when he made that promise that he would lift up black women and make a nominee. And I think they vetted, it was a number of nominees at first, a number of persons who were considered as candidates. And Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson came out as the #1 candidate. Of course, she had previously been one of the clerks for Justice Breyer, which has really credentialized her, a double Harvard graduate, more credentialization, and a stellar career as both a federal public defender and a part of the appellate committee as a commission. And then, of course, she got confirmed to the D.C. Court of Appeals after Merrick Garland became the Attorney General. So there was no doubt that she's qualified. And in terms of that balance of power, she is probably one of the most, brilliant, outstanding, thoughtful jurists that I was able to watch and hear her responses, particularly since there seemed to be the need, or perhaps an effort, I would call it an effort, to have a soft show. But she was so disciplined. And as she said, a part of the Harvard Yard, when that woman reminded her, persevere. So I was so pleased to see her demeanor. I was so pleased to see her judicial temperament. I was so pleased to observe her intellect and her skill and ability to break down the law as it was intended to be. When you get a chance to watch a judicial nominee of that caliber have the character, have the courage, and have the commitment to the Constitution that causes her to be outstanding even in the midst of what arguably was a hostile environment. I'm more than proud to have been a part of the Pass the Gavel movement that supports her, not only her nomination, but we support her confirmation as well.
So do you think that she's going to be confirmed?
I do. You know, it would be a most difficult embarrassment for America to deny the brilliance of this judge. The manner, the senators who are starting to come out and say they Manchin and those from who have said they would support that, I applaud them for that, because it takes courage to just do the right thing. That's all this is about. This is just simply about, after 230 odd years of the United States Supreme Court, it's just about doing the right thing at the time where the most brilliant candidate, the most qualified candidate, out-qualifying those who are presently sitting on the bench. Really does.
So why do you think she had to go through all of this that she went through?
I think it's a part of the sideshow of America. It's a part of America's sideshow with regard to black women. It's America's sideshow with regard to race. It's America's sideshow with regard to gender. It's America's sideshow with regard to politics. The American Constitution is pretty straightforward. And if you have sworn an oath to the Constitution, as those of us who are jurists have done, then the sideshows are like, okay, what does that have to do with this?
But these guys are politicians, Your Honor, and they're not, they took an oath as well, and the oath that they took or has taken seems to be how many tweets I can get, how many likes I can get on Facebook, all the things that I saw this past week.
Yeah, we saw that. I saw that too. But what I saw in her was, as you know how she dropped her head when Ted Cruz did his thing, or when she looked at them like, dude, look, listen, what does that have to do with it? As a judge, let me just say this. As a judge, you have a responsibility, regardless of what your personal scenarios are, what your personal life choices are, what your personal, how you're affected. Her husband was there, her daughter looking beautiful, her mom, her dad, her brother, all of that. Regardless of all of that environment, she did not misbehave. Not one moment did she lose her temperament.
What was she supposed to do? Cuss him out?
No, you never do that.
That's the reason why I like talking to you, because you're so judicial.
Yeah.
I can't be judicial. It's like you sitting there asking me a question such as, could you give me the definition of a woman?
I know.
I mean, like, come on, Your Honor. I mean, come on now.
Well, those are the hidden issues about.
It wasn't too hidden.
Well,
this woman said, this woman asked another woman,
the thing is,
do you know the definition of a woman?
Think about it, Ed. Think about what she's trying to do. Transgender issues are all over the map. There's all kinds of issues in that regard, and those of us who are on the bench, we deal with that every single day. But we have no preconceived notions. You don't go in with a preconceived notions. You don't go in with your mind already made up.
So you're a family law judge.
I'm a family judge, family district court judge.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So you would deal with something like that.
Yes, we all do. Listen.
So was that like a fair question to ask?
Fair. It was par for the course. Let's put it like that. The fairness or not fairness of it is indicative of the environment she was in and the attempt to play to the right.
So it's like my father would say, it's nothing fair once you get out of bed.
Yeah, you're playing to the right.
It's nothing fair.
But her response was perfect. I'm not a biologist. Okay.
I wish she could have said it with attitude. I'm not a biologist, okay?
Well, she couldn't.
She couldn't do it like that. She couldn't do it like that.
Her composure, I applaud her composure, her smile, even the silence of her tears. I saw that as well.
I just want, again, this is me and you talking. Okay. You judicial, I'm just a brother from Oak Cliff. I just want one person to get up there that's black and do the stuff that I see. What's that boy's name? I'm sorry, I know his name. I just wanted to call him boy.
I know.
Kavanaugh.
I know.
I know his name.
Nobody's going to talk about how much they like beer. Okay.
I mean, right. I like beer. I mean, it's like, come on now. I just wanted to have one person sit there and say, look, that is demeaning. Why are you asking me this question?
The beauty of it. No, and I agree with you that there could have been that moment, but it wasn't her place for that, in my opinion, as a judge.
It's not her place.
You would not be the person to read somebody out. But what could have happened?
That's the reason why you're a judge and she's a judge and I'm not.
The Senate Judiciary Committee, Chairman Dick Durbin, and those persons that are on the committee, they could have probably been a little bit more direct and firm in their management of how the process went.
And didn't do anything with it.
And so that's what you do. But that's why you have Cory Booker. That's why you have Cory Booker saying, listen, you are worthy. You have earned this moment.
And I'm glad he did that.
Yes.
I'm glad he did that.
Yes.
Because he spoke to her. He said, sister. He said that.
Yes.
But what happened to, weren't there some women that are senators there?
Well, Klobuchar did a good job. And the senator from Hawaii, she did an excellent job. Feinstein.
What did they say? Did they?
Klobuchar actually was very applauding. She was of Justice, Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson. Klobuchar was very lovely. I loved her introduction, and also the senator from Hawaii. She was very affirming. There's a twofold process, if one can describe it that way. Okay. Let us say that there's always the ups and the downs, and you know this, the ins and the outs, the rights, the wrongs, the lefts, the rights. The balance of a judicial temperament is to understand that, because somebody's going to come at you hard either way, right or left.
So that's a trap.
But it's your temperament as a judge.
So she would have went bad. It would have been, she didn't have no judicial temperament.
It is not in her countenance. In the years that she's been a judge, I've never, not one time, in anything that I've learned about her or if I've seen of her, not once have I ever seen her lose her temper. Because that is not what you're there for. My emotions have nothing to do with what's going on right here. What's the law? So I tell my litigants in my court, okay, so what's your evidence? Who's your sponsoring witness? Lay your foundation, lay a proper predicate, and what we do is we call the balls and strikes. And I used to didn't know what that meant until I knew what it meant. I know what it means now.
Now you sound just like a lawyer. I would say that again. I didn't know what it means, but I know. What does it mean?
You now know what it means.
What does it mean?
For us as judges, the measure is objectivity. I know what the law says. Let me hear your facts, and let you present. Because we don't know what the evidence is until the lawyers present the evidence. Okay? So you present your case, and hopefully you have prepared your case in such a way that your presentation of your case is meritorious. And if it is, then the law, then how do you apply the facts, the evidence in the law, and where's the balance of judicial decision? That's really where we are. My job, her job, our jobs as judges, stay neutral. Neutrality.
So
and hear both sides.
So this is part of it. So she has to be neutral during this whole.
Yeah.
So
have
she
no
can't do the egg grade deal, such as you attack me, I'm gonna hit you back twice as hard.
No,
she
I don't
can't
think
do
she's
that.
no.
I'm not asking her to do it, but it's like, then now what I am asking, or what I was disappointed in, and you mentioned about the senators and everything. Did Amy Klobuchar, Senator Klobuchar from Minnesota, if I'm not mistaken, did she say anything about her colleagues, the way they were coming after
Probably
them?
off camera, not there in the committee. Because you have to remember, this is a timed event. There are 22 people on that committee. It's a timed event over the course of 4 days, okay? And each of them is on a clock. And so if you're not the person who is assigned that moment, then that person has to yield their time to you so that you can make a comment. Or they have to look to the chair to get permission to speak in that moment. So you just can't just jump in and interrupt.
Oh, not saying jump in and interrupt.
But that's not the protocol. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Right.
That's not the protocol of a senatorial committee. That's not the protocol even of a hearing. Okay, you have to be recognized by the chair.
Right.
So if the chair doesn't do that, then so what Senator Klobuchar would do, or what Senator Booker would do, or Senator Durbin, or anybody else that was on the committee, they would do it in that manner.
I'm saying in their statements during their time period, like
She did
Senator
not. Remember
Booker
that she
did.
came in. See, Klobuchar came in at the very beginning. Booker was toward the end. Booker was the fourth day was just fringe, so she didn't have to appear on the fourth day. The third day was the last day for the Senate itself, and that's when Cory Booker was. I call him the cleanup man because he cleaned up all their foolishness. This is my take on it. Nobody else's.
No problem.
But he was being the cleanup guy and encouraging a brilliant woman, a brilliant jurist, a brilliant judge, a brilliant human being who had the courage and the temerity to sit through 3 days, 13 hours, 12 hours, 11 hours of constant, and she said not anything negative. She didn't say anything negative. She responded to the questions in the most intellectual, right words, right language, right tone.
Oh, she was so articulate.
Very articulate.
I get so tired of white senators, and they're white because that's what the U.S. Senate is primarily. White male senators talk to black males and black females as if they have a tail. And I sit there and I listen to these folks, and then I listen to these folks, and Senator Klobuchar did not, I don't recall her saying, I'm going to spend a couple of minutes here to talk since it is my time. I have 20 minutes, and look over it, and they tell you, yeah, well, how many minutes you have? And said, some of my colleagues here were off base here, and I feel embarrassed as a woman that I have to sit here and listen to attacks upon another woman. That wasn't done.
But she did that off camera, though.
Do it on camera. He did it on camera. I mean, it's like my mama used to say, if you show out in public,
yeah,
I'm showing out in public with you.
Well, the thing that's going to happen, and I'll see this, and my hope is that we'll all see this as an American nation. I can remember I was coming out of undergraduate school in 1976. Barbara Jordan was the keynote speaker for the Democratic National Convention. First time a black woman spoke on that level.
And you talk like Barbara Jackson. You sound Judge Jackson. You talk like Barbara Jordan. You do.
Well, thank you so kindly. It's
it is. You do.
But I can remember her saying that America's challenge is to live up to her promise. That's America's challenge. That was a challenge then, and that is the challenge today.
Okay. Our
challenge in America, whether you play to alt-right, the QAnon, or whatever they call themselves, whatever the extremes are, on either side, because there are extremes on both sides, is to bring it into that place of balance, that we who love America can live here in peace and dignity. All men are created equal. That is not a small statement. And the efforts of anyone, whether it's the senatorial committee or whether it's any human being, to dehumanize another human being, that's just wrong. Period. Now what we have to do is say, let us step back from that. Because if I clap back to you every time you try to do something inappropriate, it'd just be a battle all the time. But I'm too smart for that.
All right.
I love myself better than that.
Okay.
I am worthy of more than that. And I will respond to you in dignity and in grace.
All
and
right.
have an expectation that you need to raise your character up. My character's not in the toilet. You need to lift you up. Because I'm up here. Where you at? Come on.
Well, you know what? Cool Hand Luke, we've been rolling with this show for a little while, and, I think that's a good enough closing as we could possibly have right there. So is there anything else you want to add?
I just want to say this to the American people, to the listening audience here on this beautiful show. I want to thank my voting public first of all, for me, thank you. I'm going to be reelected. I'll get sworn in again on January 1, 2023 for my second term. Thank you, thank you, thank you to every voter. I love you. God bless you. Thank you. And to all of us who wrote the Senate Judiciary Committee, I wrote every single senator on that Senate Judiciary Committee. I sent them, me personally, I sent them a letter. And I sent out a blast to 70 plus black judges, white judges, Anglo judges, Hispanic judges, Asian judges, all across the state of Texas, to say to all of us, let us join in this effort to pass her the gavel. It is time, it's really past time, but this is the perfect opportunity for the American Constitution to be lived up and stand up for what she is. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. Let's get Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson confirmed to the United States Supreme Court, and I thank you so much.
All right. Hey, thank you, Judge Jackson. We appreciate you coming on the show. You're trying to calm me down and everything. We were talking earlier, you said, where did that come from? So, thank you for coming on the show again. And Cool Hand Luke, what we normally do on the Commish radio show, we're coming up on the 4:50 mark before we take the break that we normally have. We have other music that we play during this break. I'm telling you guys that you can listen to the music of Janelle Gray, my daughter. Her play Rage is coming out at AT&T Performing Arts Center this Friday. As a matter of fact, it debuts this Friday. So we want you to go ahead and buy your tickets to that. We have that on the Facebook page as well. And, what we're going to do now, we're just going to go ahead and play the Commish radio show drop. That is the war drops that we have with the Masked Man. Hey, you know who the Masked Man is. That's me, Commish radio show. And we're going to fade out, and we're going to come back and give you the Commish community report. All right.